welcome to the channel. I am Jake. I'm happy you tuned into the video here today. Doing another trail hiking day out here in the lovely fall weather. It's a cool morning. Should be a nice day. But thought I'd bring y'all along and see what all kinds of cool stuff I come across out here in the woods. Talk about various things as I go along. Should be a good time. So stick around. See what kind of fun stuff I can dig up out here in the woods. Go Honey Creek Loop to the left. And here we go. As we pan around here, you may notice there is a general lack of leaves on the trees right now, because it is coming into fall. And here we have one that still has quite a few leaves on it. And this is an American beech. And this is an interesting one for wintertime identification. I can get over here and find the bud. There's a bud right there laying on my finger right here. And long and slender. Usually shaped kind of like a cartoon cigar, if you will. But super easy to ID from a distance in the wintertime, because this is one of a handful of species here in the eastern woods that is what is known as a marquescent species. So marquescence is essentially defined as retaining leaves once they die, so it will hold on to its leaves instead of letting them fall off. In general, you will find American beech that doesn't have any leaves, but oftentimes they will retain a fair number of their leaves. So super easy to pick out from a distance on through the wintertime. So in my last hiking video up at the Twin Arches Trail, I mentioned pit and mound topography, which comes about from a tree falling over and pulling up the root ball. And this is what causes it right here. This tree has fallen over, pulled up the roots. Eventually, the tree and all of the woody components will decompose, leaving behind only soil. And there will be a little bit of a pit right in this region right here. And all of this will fall, leaving a mound on that side. So there's one there. There's a little one right there. There's another one up ahead, and you can see that trail leaning across the trail there. That will be another one. So that's where you get pit and mound topography. This is part of the fun of hiking around Big South Fork. Tons of bluffs, rock walls, ledges, caves, and as you see here, tables. Let me come back around over this way so you can see underneath there. You see that's hollow right through the middle there. It's supported on each side, and that big slab fell off from above and made a table. Super neat stuff. And come back up in here. It's absolutely incredible rock formation, all swirly, really cool. And then over here, come over this way, there's a little cave back in there. I wouldn't be surprised if something is living in there overnight. I don't see any tracks out in front, but nice and secluded. Probably nice and warm in there as well. I would live in there if I was a critter. But on down the trail. About 5 yards up from where I just was, I find this, which is tall enough to stand in, perfectly dry, and has quite an overhang. Not a bad spot to spend the night if you find yourself out on the trail late. Can't make it back to your vehicle. So something I didn't think to mention about spending the night if you find yourself out late and can't make it back to the trailhead, back to your vehicle, is that in places like this, National Park Service land, it is not actually allowable to just randomly spend the night without getting a backcountry pass, backcountry permit. So, something to keep in mind. It is my belief that you should do whatever is best for your personal interests to keep yourself safe. So if spending the night is the only option that will keep you safe, I suppose that's what you should go with. But also keep in mind that doing something like that can lead to rather hefty fines and such. So, something to think about before you just plop down and go to sleep for the night. So I showed a black birch in the Twin Arches video. Talked a little bit about stilt roots and things like that. Showed the roots going out over the side of a rock. And that big trunk right there is another black birch. Check out the roots on this guy. Comes down, it's anchored into the side, and this one goes all the way underneath that rock. Way back up in there, into that hole. And then comes along the top of that, all the way back out to where the soil is. Incredible. Here's an interesting thing on this quite large American beech here. You can see it goes way up there. Probably 3 or 4 feet in diameter at the base. It's a really big one. But this is a burl, and you can see just how large that is there compared to my hand. And if you've ever seen a bowl or something like that made from a burl, this is what it is made of, or made from. And these are caused by various things. Could be an injury to the tree, attack by insects or a fungus or something like that. And essentially the tree will grow around that injury to seal it off. But it makes really interesting patterns inside. The grain goes all different directions. Very, very pretty. But there is a burl. Made it down and found the river. It's a really nice little stretch of river right here. Very pretty. Just bet there's a ton of fish down there. But this is not a fishing day. So on I go. So I've made it down into a riparian area here. And riparian simply means near water. It's a pretty basic definition of that term. But down in here, I'm seeing lots and lots of this plant right here. And this is a rhododendron, specifically Rosebay rhododendron. And this is growing exactly where it's supposed to. So here in the eastern woods, the Cumberland Plateau, and over in the southern Appalachian region, rhododendron has been steadily encroaching into the upland areas. And that is not where it belongs. It belongs down near water, lower on the slope. And Mount Laurel, which is sort of the upland associate of rhododendron, I'll say it that way, is supposed to be way up where it's dry. Rhododendron has been moving up where mountain laurel lives in recent decades, mainly due to the exclusion of fire. So fire is an important part of the natural ecosystem, natural environment, and without it, things grow where they're not supposed to. They move around into areas where they kind of take over and don't allow the species that are supposed to be there to do what they need to do. So this is exactly where it's supposed to be, down near the water. So I've been walking through this little section of the trail and it kind of feels like I'm in a jungle. And then I come across these things. I don't think those normally occur in a jungle. But anyhow, still feels like one. Keep following the arrows. Even if they lead you into a dark hole underneath a rock. Yeah. This isn't the prettiest little spot, and I don't know what is. This is so cool. Runs back through a little canyon back there. Keeps on going. That's really neat. So much water. I'm walking along and I found that great big cave up there. And that is incredible. You could absolutely live in that cave. That's bigger than a house. And that is incredible. Looking to see if there's a good way maybe to get up there and look, because it's kind of wet. The rocks are really wet and slippery. So I'm thinking I might skip it for now and come back another day. But it's really cool. So this is really cool. Trail doesn't go through here, but it goes right next to all of these big boulders. Really cool. Lots of water in here. And very slick. Watch your feet. So sometimes there's two arrows to follow. You take the white arrow and go down in that little hole and come out somewhere. Or you take the orange arrow and go up over the top. I think up over the top. Yeah. This is a bit of a change. Climb the hill up away from the creek and wind up on a rock trail. There's been a few spots where I get to play on a rope on this trail. So that's super fun. Bridges are fun too. Especially when there's a creek underneath. It's kind of dark. Lots of tannins in there, looks like. Can't see anything. Pretty though. In my flint and steel and making char videos, I talked about punkwood and white rot. This is brown rot. You can see it's hard, it's not squishy and spongy and soft, and it breaks up into these kind of cubic sections here. See how cleanly that breaks into continuously smaller cubic pieces there. So this is brown rot, And this still has a significant portion of the lignin still intact, and most of the cellulose is gone out of this wood. Well, I made it back up out of the woods and back to the trailhead, back to my Jeep. There it is. Hope you enjoyed coming along with me on that. It was a good time, really nice walk. A little bit tricky in areas because I actually lost the trail at one point, but that is listed on the website for this trail, that it can be a little tricky in some spots, and I believe that they're quite accurate with that. But it was a good walk. And as I already said, hope you enjoyed coming along with me on the walk. If you did, definitely appreciate it if you hit the like button, share the video with your friends, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you're not yet a subscriber. Greatly appreciate that. And until next time, go forth, enjoy yourself, and always come home safe.